Breaking developments in the Middle East this morning. Another ceasefire agreement has been announced in Syria. Joining us with the latest is Andrew Tabler, Senior Fellow with the Washington Institute for Near East Policy. Hi, Andrew.
Great to be with you.
So details surrounding the ceasefire are still emerging. But first, both Syria's military and opposition forces have signed off on this?
The Syrian military has seemed to have agreed. The opposition groups, seven in all that have been announced, seem to have agreed. But we'll have to wait and see how these things shake out. But if those 7 groups do join, it would be the probably most comprehensive group sitting down for talks that we've had in the Syrian war. To what end is unclear.
And groups that have been identified as terrorist organizations, I should note, such as ISIS and the Syrian Conquest Front, those have been excluded from the deal. Is that an indication that there could be more violence?
Well, they've been excluded from the deal, but they're trying to work out if the al-Qaeda affiliate is agreeing to also to the ceasefire. That's also unclear. So it'll be a real test for, in the event that the al-Qaeda affiliate stops fighting the regime and stops fighting the Russians, will the regime and the Russians stop fighting back, and that remains to be seen as well.
Right, and there are also talks planned next month between Russia, Iran, and Turkey, but the U.S. is not involved in those talks, at least as far as we know. How has the U.S. responded to that, and what is the significance of America being left out?
Russia's been working on these talks in Kazakhstan and the city of Astana for some time in a sort of track 2 capacity. The U.S. is being left out because both Turkey and Russia felt that the U.S. was unable to deliver on its promises in Syria and decided to go off on their own. And they've been involved in talks, bilateral talks, for the last 2 months, or while the U.S. sorted out who was going to be their next president. And Iran has joined Russia and Turkey in this process as well. Although Iran is officially not included in the ceasefire agreement announced today.
Is there any indication that once Trump is inaugurated, his administration would want to participate, or that it would be welcome to participate?
I think the indications to me that announcements by President-elect Trump about creating beautiful safe zones in Syria and so on, if you look at where would that be possible, it could be possible in the Turkish de facto safe zone in the northern part of Syria. That could be a product included in this process between Turkey and Russia. Also could include in some Kurdish areas. So there is some opportunity for the Trump administration to bolster this effort in Syria, which involves the Russians, while targeting terrorist groups such as ISIS and the al-Qaeda affiliate Jabhat Fatah al-Sham.
Right, and Russian President Vladimir Putin was among the leaders who announced this truce. He's sort of become the face of this agreement, actually. What is in this for Russia?
A lot. First of all, showing that they can, with relatively little effort, rally a lot of diplomatic support to this process. Second, to try and stem the flow of violence and the exiting of refugees and migrants. But I think most importantly, it's just a finger in the eye to President Obama as he leaves office. President Putin showing that, at least for now, he was right in Syria and President Obama was not.
Interesting. And, you know, I have to point out, we've been down this road before with ceasefires in Syria.
Yeah.
They're very fragile. They tend to break down pretty quickly. Is there any indication that this agreement is different?
This agreement includes more armed groups with larger concentrations and alliances than we've seen in the past. So if they agree to sit down and talk with the government, and the government agrees to do that, that is progress. It doesn't just involve the role of exile groups, and that makes this different. Whether they'll be able to come up with any kind of solution anytime soon remains to be seen.
True. Thank you so much for joining us, Andrew. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.